Welcome to the Phygital Marketing Podcast, a podcast from Soto, where we explore how digital and physical experiences are blending in modern marketing. I'm your host, Lindsay Buxman, and I'll be sitting down with my favorite marketing leaders to chat about what they think is working, what's not, how real-world moments should connect to digital strategy, and everything in between. Okay, let's get Phygital. Today's guest is Dewar. Ian's an expert in customer analytics, personalization, loyalty, and customer strategy. And he's led these initiatives at VF Corp and Anthropology. I met Ian when he was working on VIP Rewards, which was a 3 million member loyalty program for the North Face, which you launched and then led the strategy for quite a few years. So really excited to have you here. You always think about customer marketing and analytics in really smart and ingenious ways. So I'm excited to see what we get into today. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great introduction. I appreciate that.
Well, we've seen you speak many times, and so just thrilled to have you on the show today. And yeah, let's dive in and start to talk customer analytics and personalization, whatever else we might as well.
Great.
So to start us off, within retail and direct to consumer as well, because you do some consulting for DTC specifically too, what's working in loyalty today?
So I like to look at loyalty as having sort of three components and three separate sort of streams of how you engage with customers. There's transactional loyalty, and that's really the tradition of how loyalty programs were built. Transactional loyalty, spend X, get Y. That could be points like Chipotle. That could be stars like Starbucks. That could be a frequency like your local coffee shop where you buy 10 coffees and get one for free. Yeah. Or it could be a set dollar amounts. Every $200 you spend, the company sends you $10 or $20 as a reward certificate. And transactional loyalty works really well because you are basically paying your customers to come back and shop with you. Secondly, I think about convenience-based loyalty. And so typically convenience-based loyalty is added on to transactional. A great example is travel and the car rental business. Hertz Club Gold is a great example, right? You join Hertz, you rent a few cars, you get upgraded to gold, and then you don't have to go to the counter anymore. You walk out, your name's on the board, you sit down in the car, you drive out. It almost becomes, the points become secondary to the convenience of being able to walk straight from the plane to the car to drive away. And so this convenience-based loyalty really adds value, and that's where customers start to say, hey, there's incentive for me to continue to build status because I have a better experience. And that could be a separate checkout line or check-in line for hotels or restaurants. That could be, or airlines. That could be separate checkout lines at retail. That could be separate early opportunities through your membership. But the convenience makes your shopping experience or your travel experience or your brand engagement experience quicker and easier. And then third is event-based or experiential loyalty. And that's where, to answer your question, where do I think loyalty is going? It's going to experiences. And so experience-based loyalty is really the combination now of giving customers in the program extra access, early access, invitation to events, opportunities to buy product that is LTOs or limited time offers, first opportunity to see new product, events in stores, access to certain either products or, in the case of, again, going back to hotels or airlines, access to certain rooms or seats that aren't available to non-loyalty members. And so the direction that I see brands going, and again, thinking about, we talked about VIP Rewards, right? That launched 13 years ago now. Mm-hmm. It was very transactional with an amount of experiential built into it, but it was very focused on points. We had double points. We had a 5-time points weekend once a year in October to drive people into the market. And that program, over the time that I ran it, shifted to be more experiential. And today is even more experiential where you can earn rewards for doing activities, and you can take your currency of rewards, whether that is membership or status or points, and turn them into experiences. And I think that is the direction that both brands are heading and that customers actually like.
If you were to work with a new brand that didn't have loyalty today, would you launch points or would you just focus on the experiential side of it?
I think it depends. It honestly it depends on one, like, not to say tracking, not to say copying your competitors, but what your competitive set is doing.
Okay.
Two, what opportunity you have to present experiences, and I think three, what the customer expectations are. And so I think experiences need to be part of any program. And I think the idea of continued growth at retail really hinges on providing a customer benefit to going to the store. And whether that is touching the product or sitting on the product in the case of like a furniture, or trying on the product for apparel, or holding it in your hand, that's a really important part of the retail experience. And so thinking about a loyalty program that, one, yes, rewards some level of frequent visit, a frequent purchase, but also encourages that level of discovery is really important. And I think brands sometimes forget that customers don't always want to buy, right? Like a good conversion rate online is 3%.
Yeah.
A good conversion rate in store is 20%. In store. So that means 4 out of 5 people walking in your store walk out without buying something. And yes, those numbers go up as during sale time and during holiday, but the idea that 80% of customers who walk in your store and walk out without buying something was a loss. It's not necessarily a missed opportunity if you're selling something that requires thoughtful processing to buy. And I think, so as brands think about what's the power of experience, the power of experience is the opportunity to show your customers what you care about, what your product should be used for, and to let them touch it, hold it, feel it. And that's got to be part of any retail program. But I think there's a level of validity in points or some sort of currency. Points get confusing. I don't think customers respond as well to double points, triple points as they used to. I think the bigger thing there is make it easy to understand. If you spend $250, you're going to get $10 or whatever that X equals Y. But the bigger part of it is customers. No amount of discounting is going to get a customer to buy something they don't actually want or like.
Yeah.
So the experience piece is super important now in a way to like take that 80% of customers that aren't ready to buy and continue to build like your brand equity or their brand knowledge with you.
You've mentioned app a few times. Tell me where you think app plays a role in retail today. It feels like there's app fatigue. Do you agree with that, or like where does app fit?
I really think an app is a super powerful shopping companion today. And there are some things that can be done through mobile web, but I think if you look at the way customers like to shop, and if you kind of go from discovery to consideration to purchase, that pathway can be really different for different customers. A lot of discovery today happens, one, as customers walk by the store, and two, on social, which is really different than what it was like sort of 5 years ago, where search was a primarily discovery tool. And so customers are discovering a brand or a product, then they're generally going to mobile web to look at it. Now, they may land on app, they may start on mobile web, but they're going to mobile to look at that product. If they like the product, they may continue that journey on desktop. It's still easier to do comparison shopping. It's still easier to look at collections. It's still easier to look at multiple photos on a bigger screen, right? The phone can only be so big. So you have a customer who discovers something through either social or through literally walking past it. Their first experience generally with the brand is then on mobile. They may shift to desktop. They may then start sort of the consideration process by putting product in their cart or adding it to a wish list. Now they've got a wish list to go back to the store to look at the product, especially if it's a brand they've never tried before. It's one thing to repeat purchase something that the sizes, the fabrics, the styles, but for a brand you've never touched before, the journey may go back to store, but with kind of phone in hand. And that's where I think the app really adds to that. And having an app that provides retail inventory, that makes it easy to scan and check other sizes, other styles, other colors, that allows you to compare multiple products within the same category. All of those things, allows you to identify yourself easily with a loyalty membership QR code versus having to say your email or say your phone number. All these things add to that process of shopping experience, but it's not a set discover, consider, buy anymore. And mobile plays a part in almost everyone's customer journey. So having an app that can actually act as a retail shopping companion is a super powerful tool today.
You also talked about how discovery is often done through mobile and social today and just windows. But I've also heard quite a bit about discovery happening with AI and
Mhm.
chatbots. Have you experienced that yourself yet? And do you think that that's the next wave of discovery, or do you think it will continue to be more of these other native channels that we have?
No, I think that AI does a really good job of pulling together available information. And so where I think AI really helps in terms of discovery is by sort of consolidating multiple sort of features around products, right? And it's able to pull in multiple reviews, multiple rankings, multiple sites. And so, if you were to we live in Colorado. I live in Colorado, right? Let's say I wanted to get a new backpack for hiking, and I typed hiking backpacks into Google. Google will first of all show me all the shopping, all the shopping options that the brands have paid for. So REI will show up there, and North Face will show up there, and Arc'teryx will probably show up there, and a few other stores will show up there. Dick's Sporting Goods will probably show up there, and then Google may show me a series of links to blogs that rank hiking backpacks or gear reviews that rank hiking backpacks. What AI does is it'll actually consolidate all of that into one set of recommendations, and we'll be able to say, here are 5 hiking backpacks that are the most recommended across multiple platforms. And I think that is awesome, right? And I think what that does is it puts pressure now back on brands to increase their exposure beyond simply sort of search engine optimization, right? And so rather than focus everything on discoverability for Google or for search, now brands need to think about discoverability for overall available information. And I think AI is going to make that shopping experience a lot better because it's going to pull in not just what brands are paying for, but what uncompensated reviewers and influencers are talking about. And I think that's a big opportunity.
It's interesting, this uncompensated review, because Reddit just allowed for affiliate links. And so it'll be interesting to see where that nets out as well, as far as what is
Yes.
uncompensated these days. Okay, tell me about Phygital experiences you've had lately that were seamless.
So I like to shop in person,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
so and I'm a pretty deliberate shopper personally. Like I will think about what I want. I will generally kind of look at multiple locations. I will build a cart and then I'll go to the store. And so like in the last and for whatever reason, the last week or so, I've been doing a lot of shopping. But I was at Home Depot, I was at Dick's Sporting Goods, I was at REI, and in all 3 cases, I had a specific product I was looking to buy, and then I ended up buying something else while I was there. Now I bought the thing I was looking for, but I also sort of ended up buying additional things, and to me, in all 3 cases, like I used mobile web or actually app in store to find what I was looking for. And as I think about kind of what that experience should be, I use Home Depot a lot as a good example, right? And Home Depots are huge. And actually, the thing that is somewhat not frustrating, but the thing that is somewhat unique around Home Depot is that the stores are not all laid out the same. You go into a Home Depot and in one case the wood might be on the far right hand side of the store. In another case it might be in the back corner of the store. In another case, and so the aisles aren't always the same, right? If you're looking for, I went to buy a fire extinguisher. Not exciting. It was on aisle 5, but another store might be on aisle 17. But I can put a fire extinguisher into my cart on the app, or even look for it in the app in store mode, and it'll show me a map of where it is in the store. And if it's not in the store, it'll tell me all the options I have to get it delivered. So I can do all of that experience right there, yet I know I can go and pick something up. And so that being able to like roll into the store, already knowing what I'm looking for, having the option to enter store mode, having the map to show me where I am and where the product is, all of that makes that experience so much easier. Right. And there's honestly no reason that almost any retailer, they don't need a map. Like most fashion retailers are not in 30, 40, 50,000 square foot warehouses like Home Depot. But to be able to link your store inventory up to your app, I feel like that is a must have at this point, right? Like versus kind of a nice to have. And so that experience of being able to like look for what I want, know where it is, go find it, pick it up, and then kind of walk the store to look for a couple other things is so much easier because I have this shopping companion that's literally in my hand, in my pocket.
What I'm learning from this conversation is how many more apps I need to download. Wow. If I want an easy shopping experience.
You should. It's interesting because a brand like the North Face is very deliberate, right? People come to the North Face because they want something. They don't always buy what they want, but they come because they, it rained last weekend and their raincoat wasn't very good, so they got wet, so they needed a raincoat. Or it's the beginning of the ski season, they want new ski jackets, they want to try a bunch of ski jackets on to see like what kind of jacket they want. Or they're going hiking and they want to try on boots, or they need a backpack for school, but they come with something in mind. At Anthropologie, customers come because they want to see what's new. And we did a lot of research at Anthropologie. We did shop-alongs, we did store visits, and we would ask customers as they were leaving the store to do a small questionnaire. And one of the questions we always asked, no matter what the research was what did you buy today and why did you decide to buy it? And almost always what we heard was, I didn't know what I wanted till I got here, but when I saw it, I loved it. Mm-hmm. And so it's a completely different shopping experience, right? That shopping experience is very much discovery. And where data helps is providing a level of like curated discovery that is either targeted to the customer through online or targeted to the way people behave in a region in a physical store. On the flip side of that, for brands like the North Face or sports brands, which are very deliberate purchases, the opportunity is to then have additional product in the store that goes with the main categories that people buy. And I think it's a really different shopping experience. But in both cases, the app is a super beneficial shopping companion. And I don't think brands should be thinking about online shopping versus retail shoppers anymore. They're not in competition with each other. There are some people who only shop in stores. And there's some people who really don't like going to the mall at all and only shop online. But the vast majority of people are crisscrossing back and forth. And so brands really need to think about, how do you provide the right information to the customer and honestly let them have check out however they want.
Okay, so we've spoken about customer experience. What are other brands that you think are doing the physical, digital experience as well? Maybe in other categories or just other.
Yeah. A couple places I've shopped recently. I really like Huckberry, actually. And I know that, I don't actually know if they have stores outside of Texas. I only buy online from there, but I think they've done a really good job of curating this combination of, it's all digital, but the experience and the outfitting and the collectioning all really make sense. And they're presented in a way that kind of sets up how you would use, whether it's jeans or boots or a shirt or a jacket, And I think it's very thoughtful the way they present these collections. I also really like that their marketing is a real combination of things they like and products, obviously, that you can buy. But I recently got an email from them, and it was like 10 albums you should buy on vinyl. They don't even sell vinyl. They don't like they sell jeans and jackets and hats and yet it was very lifestyle. And it's like, if you are part of the vinyl lifestyle, you would like Huckberry's clothing. And I go, you know what? They're kind of right, actually. They are kind of right. And so, and I think this experience, and if they open a store, they may have a store in Denver, and I don't even know. But if they open a store here in Denver, I would go check it out. But I think they do a really good job of creating this sort of what goes with what and curating these collections, but also of matching lifestyle up to the product. Another store that kind of fits in this Phygital that I think is doing a good job, also big box, but is Total Wine. I think Total Wine, their app, they have a store mode, just like Home Depot has a store mode. You can build a collection at home. You can link up your different promotions, but you kind of have to go buy wine, right? You have to go but you don't taste it. Like, you can't try it on. And they have little wine tastings once in a while there. But generally, what happens is they'll recommend bottles based on what you bought. They'll make it easy to find it. You can use the store mode to go to the area you're looking for, or simply find the type of wine you want to buy. And then the digital extension shows you all the other things, all the other wines from either that winery or in that collection. And it makes that shopping experience. I mean, you can literally spend like probably $5,000 on a bottle of wine there, down to $5 on a bottle of wine. But I think they've done a smart job of matching up. Yes, there's a rewards program. I think you get $5 back every $250 you spend. But also there's like a clear set of recommendations. Their app makes it easy to find product. And I think that they've taken kind of what's working in other stores and sort of demystified the wine buying experience a little bit, so it doesn't feel super snobby. But if you want to buy snobby wine, they will definitely sell it to you. So
it's a really cool one. Cool. Well, if you're ready for it, we'll do a speed round.
Yeah, I love
of
speed
questions.
Round. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Okay.
So we do need you to be super ready for the speed round.
Speed round.
Let's do this.
All right.
Online shopping or in-store shopping?
I already said in-store, man.
No.
I like to try it on.
You were big on in-store, except for Huckberry. Last store you walked into just to browse?
Crate and Barrel.
Yeah? Did you find anything?
No.
Shoot.
Well, I was kind of looking for something.
Yeah.
I saw this is gonna mess up the speed round.
No, that's okay.
But I was watching this show on TV about this guy who it's like a travel show.
Yeah.
And he went to Italy and he ordered a Negroni, and they brought the Negroni and he put it on a coaster, and then they brought him an orange slice on a little silver coaster. And I thought, that is like the coolest thing ever. How do I get little silver coasters to serve like fruit to go with cocktails? And I thought, Crate and Barrel's got to have like silver coasters.
Yeah.
No,
No.
nothing even like remote. They're like, oh yes, sir, we have these coasters. Or no, not like they didn't have any coaster. It's not even a coaster. It's a little silver plate.
Yeah.
Kind of just bigger than an orange slice.
Do you like to have dinner parties?
I do like that dinner parties.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. What's the vibe of your dinner party?
Wine, booze,
booze, and cocktails,
booze and cocktails, and cocktails. But if I could find the little silver plate to put the cocktail fruit accoutrement on, I will do that. So yeah, that's the last store I walked into. I'm looking for that.
I really love that. Best brand experience you've had in real life?
I really like the concept of circular economy. And I know we've talked a lot about outdoor gear but there's a store here in Denver. There's 2 or 3 of them around the country called Feral, and they sell used gear, they buy used gear, they sell new gear. And so the front half of the store is new, the back half of the store is used, and you can take product in and sell it, and then you can get either cash, you literally walk out with $200-300 in cash, or you can take store credit and buy other things. And the setup is so conducive to encouraging people to bring product back that I sold some stuff there. right? I sold some stuff there, and some of it was my kids' old ski gear because they outgrew it, and some of it was some hiking boots I don't use anymore. And then I found like a really cool pullover that I liked. So they gave me like $33 in store credit and $220 in cash, and the whole process was like so easy that I feel like this idea of like how do you, especially I think especially in outdoor gear, but also in like tools and also in like bicycles, and also there's a lot of cameras. There's product that lasts a long time. So creating these opportunities to like sell but buy but use but return but get new and not necessarily new, it's such a great, and what they've done there is they made this experience so easy, right? There's a separate table, you drop your stuff off, they tell you what they like. In fact, the first time I went in with the hiking boots, they're like, we're not buying hiking boots yet because we sell ski boots on the floor, but come back in 3 weeks, we'll be buying hiking boots. So I went back in 3 weeks and sold the hiking boots and bought another pullover. So like, it makes it's such a great experience that I would continue to like buy stuff there and then take it back and get more. So I think that idea that the life doesn't end when it ends with you is a pretty, it works in outdoor, but it doesn't just work in outdoor.
Yeah, that's really cool to see. What makes you walk away from a brand immediately?
Yeah, probably. I think there's a level of people want to shop at brands that share their kind of values, and I don't mean political or even environmental, but that brands that support local initiatives that customers can identify with are super powerful. Brands that don't, that doesn't necessarily, it's not necessarily a deal breaker, but it's something that if there's two different choices to buy similar product, why wouldn't you go somewhere that's supporting local projects? I think the real deal breaker for me is brands that don't stand behind product that breaks, right? And
yeah.
and if you have a really complicated warranty or really complicated return process, I'm just not going to shop there again. It's just not, even if it worked really well until it didn't, like it's just not worth that. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like, we'll replace it and send you a new one every single time. But if the brand is like, yeah, you missed your window, you're out. It's just like, if they're like that, and that ability to like, or that willingness to kind of help troubleshoot, solve problems. Sometimes stuff breaks. That's totally fine. Sometimes stuff breaks. But that to me is a bigger deal breaker. So
it's a really fair one. What's the last thing you impulse bought? Where was it?
I bought a titanium whistle at REI.
It sounds like an impulse buy. The plastic ones aren't good enough.
No, I mean, I coach kids soccer. I probably have 10 plastic whistles, right? They're all perfectly good. And this was, I'm planning like a big hike this summer, and I went to pick up a couple things to do some training hikes, and I saw this. I don't need a whistle.
Yeah.
And my backpack probably has a whistle on it, right? Like every outdoor backpack today has a little sternum strap that's also a whistle, and I'm sure that some other thing like my Swiss Army knife probably has a whistle on it, right?
Yeah.
But I saw this titanium whistle, and it was like really little and had a little cord on you can hang around your neck, and I thought, that's pretty cool. Totally unnecessary, but yeah, I bought a titanium whistle.
It's all for safety.
All for safety, exactly. So if I get lost, if you're hiking, if you're up in the mountains, you hear like a loud pitch, it's probably not a marmot, it might be me with my titanium whistle because I twisted my ankle.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
No, this was great. I appreciate the invitation.
Yes. And thanks for listening to the Phygital Marketing Podcast. If you liked what you heard, follow the show and send it to your favorite marketer. If you want to learn more about Soto or get in touch, visit withsoto.com. See you later, alligator.